All right, good evening and welcome again to Green White Checker TV for the Area 51 Racing Indy Series with Dark Horse Racing. Last week was at Worldwide Technology Raceway, aka Gateway. Pretty small field over there, but looking pretty solid here tonight. Looks like just over 20 drivers that have joined here in practice, hopefully taking part in tonight's event. But last week I didn't get to see it, so Boomer, I know you kind of got to run the show over there with Matt Wagner. Really appreciate you taking the lead, and then Matt stepping out of the seat to hop in the booth with you. How did that one go? So I'll put you in a spot, and what are we looking for you think here tonight at Michigan?
Yeah, it was a good time, and definitely missed you, but appreciated having Matt up in the booth. It was very nice of him, very kind of him to step out of the car and put his shirt and tie on for the broadcast. So last week we saw the Andrew Wood show at Gateway. I mean, absolutely ran away with it. I mean, by far class of the field all race long, and I know Matt was talking about. How Andrew's kind of considered one of the short track greats for IndyCar. So it was really cool to see his craft, and not a lot of guys had too much for him, but we saw guys like Nick DeGroot battle back up to the podium positions, and I believe Jeff Heisong also finished second. So it was a cool night, a little bit of a lower car count. So hopefully Michigan doesn't scare as many people away as Gateway might have last week. But yeah, looking forward to Michigan, my home track. I don't think they did it quite justice with the repave within the last decade or so, but I still have lots of fond memories coming to this racetrack as a kid and a young NASCAR fan. So excited to be back in the Irish hills of middle lower Michigan.
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing track, and I can only imagine for this one to be the home track for. I mean, think about some of the kind of when IndyCar raced over here, and think about kind of the old NASCARs when they had the full horsepower, no restrictions. I mean, they'd be going 210 plus into turn number one. It's definitely, I'm sure, some pretty exciting stuff to watch and to see, and I think we're going to definitely be seeing a lot of that tonight here. Of course, as always with the Indy Series, there will be one fast pair, no green white checkered attempts, and fuel windows down somewhere in the mid 20s range. I think we could see as high as upper 20s, as low as low 20s. It's going to just really depend on how aggressive these drivers are this evening. So that's going to be one we'll have to definitely keep an eye on over the course of the run. I think is going to be that fuel strategy, the pit strategy, and then let's try to see what these guys think is going to be the way to go to kind of position themselves to be in the best place when it counts tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Don't think that we're going to see anyone trying to squeeze it out to a two-stopper. That would be 33 and 134 lap stint. That's probably going to be too much. So the lap count probably going to force most people's hands to be somewhere in the three-stop count. But there's still a little bit to play there. Obviously, you could do something in like the 30-30, 20-20 range for pit stops tonight. So there's still a little bit of strategy involved, and it'll be interesting to see where the yellows come and how it goes from there. So definitely excited to be at. Really, what's kind of probably considered more of a super speedway. Would you think for the Indy cars here?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I'm saying every time that the new season comes up, I always go straight to the schedule, and that's the first track. I basically I have four tracks I feel like have to be on the IndyCar schedule, and that's here at Michigan, the sister track Auto Club, and then Pocono and Indianapolis. I feel like with the Indy cars, those are like the tracks that just really suit these cars. You got lots of room to work with, and these things are just so much fun. A lot of exciting things you can do with them while you're going about 220, maybe even 230 if you hit the draft right. So it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it for sure. So the drivers just finish up their laps here, as we got about 10 more seconds, and I think that has completed everybody's qualifying laps here tonight. Looks like 20 drivers put laps down, 4 are opting to start a little bit further back here tonight, which I do think we have a few new names, new faces to the league, so that's always fun to see the league grow. So we'll have to pull that up here as we're going to pull up our starting grid for tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and get our grid started up over here. And on pole position will be the number 89 of Nick DeGroot, our defending series champion. only by 1/100th of a second there over Eric Peterson, 10,000ths of a second, if you will. And then you got Eric Schaus there third, Matt Wagner fourth, Craig Forsyth, our top five. And then 6th through 10th, I'll say, for probably someone that's been feeling snake bend this so far this season, though, here, Boomer, Yari Brupacher is going to start 6th. And then last week's winner, Andrew Wood, 7th. Luis Gonzalez Nunez in 8th. Jeff Heisong and Jim Herrick rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, and first car on the would be the 6th row is Alec Coates in the 3, followed by Ryan Steinhoff, 2 is outside. We also have Jim Brooks in the 51 and Jack Walls in the 83 behind them. In 15th starting is Dan Marrera with William Gunn to his outside. Behind them will be William Gunn and Robert DuPont. And we also have Jared Kaczynski, Jason Hand, and Covey Moore rounding out our top 20.
And then the remainder of the field here, again, those that did not put a lap down, 21st will be Joseph Morales, Taylor Reeves in the 41, and then Julian Altina, I believe not a new name to the league, but kind of a return to the league, so definitely good to see Julian back. And then Joseph Tessiro in that 110 starting in 24th. And it looks like just about everybody has found their way onto the grid as we get a nice up-close shot of that number 89 of Nick DeGroot here, and then we will get things underway here momentarily.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to getting going here tonight. It's going to be a fun battle here. 100 laps at Michigan. Should be a good one tonight.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of track strategy or anything like that. These guys are just going to kind of be able to go straight after it right off the bat. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see kind of who's going to go where. Let's say, there's going to be some that want to go straight to the front. Some of those that are going to want to play it a little bit more caution, maybe save that fuel like we like to see. So, yeah, it'll be great to see kind of what the right strategy is going to be for these guys as they all start rolling off the grid here.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see here as we probably get settled in how these guys are going to behave, and definitely a lot of options here at Michigan, a lot of lanes that you can choose. Not quite as much of a fifth lane as you may see at Auto Club, but definitely looking to see them utilize probably the bottom 2, 3, maybe even 4 lanes here. Yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. I know a lot of opportunities here to pass, lots of draft or tow, if you will, in the Indy cars to play around with here at such a big 2-mile track.
Yeah, so the one driver just notably now looking at the field to say we're missing tonight is going to be the 50 of Charles Teed. So I'll say, unfortunately, definitely missing Charles in the field here tonight. I'm guessing he's probably got some work commitments. He's been pretty busy. It sounds like over on the business side of things, kind of having to do the real hustle instead of the fun stuff over here. So definitely missing you, Charles. Hope you're doing well, sir. But say up front, though, we're about to get rolling as Nick DeGroot, Eric Peterson, waiting for that pace car to duck off as it does. And then from here, we will get going green, get an initial start on the flag. So we just wait for that flagman to throw that green, and then we will be underway here. Again, 100 laps is the distance tonight at Michigan.
Oh, bit of a bobble there out of Yari Brubacher as they take the green flag. But it looks like Nick DeGroot is going to lead them into turn number 1, still side by side with the number 36 of Eric Peterson.
Yeah, so let's keep an eye on Eric Schaus there. He was kind of peeking early, looking like he might try to make an early move as these guys are jockeying very quickly for position. And there goes Nick DeGroot. He's going to try to protect that inside line going into turn number 3. I think, again, trying to lead that all-important bonus point as well as from getting pulled, get a bonus point there, but try to lead lap number 1. It looks like he will easily do so in that number 89. So we'll see how hard he defends from here on out as now Matt Weininger trying to creep into that picture as well right there in that 6.
Yeah, I must say a beautiful looking green-white checkered paint scheme looks like for the 6 tonight. So we appreciate you repping us, Matt, after last week being a part of the broadcast. So he said he's got, I believe, over a 30% win rate with that paint scheme. So hope to see him park it in Victory Lane tonight. That'd be really cool.
Close that up for.
Yeah, man, he's going to the front really quick, trying to get around Nick DeGroot here.
At the line, I could not tell who had the lead there between the two of them. It was tight there, but you see Matt's going to take the wide line through turn 1 and 2. Let's say, of course, again, short distance, usually the preferred way to go. But look at the momentum, though. We might have something here, Boomer. We're running that white line might not be all it's kind of used to being. So that or maybe Nick just kind of playing a little bit nice and rolling out of it. Maybe try to save a little bit of fuel possibly in that number 6. Or sorry, the 89, I should say, let the 6 by possibly. But you're right, though. Looks like Matt Wagner is going to lead lap number 4 here. I'm sorry. And so that'll give him a bonus point as well. Say, unfortunately, like I said, missing that one race last week. Probably going to have to pretty much count for his drop week. So like I said, really appreciate him kind of taking one there. And yeah, right now, though, we've got a pretty solid train here. About the top 8 or so is now Nick DeGroot's going to jump back low. This might begin to where we see that leapfrog approach by some of these drivers here early on. Try to keep this pace of the race up.
Yeah, definitely. When we're kind of packed up and the leaders are just kind of running, nose to tail, kind of gets the rest of the pack really, pushed up against the back of them, and really kind of creates more chaos. But you can see the 6 of Matt Wagner and the 89 of Nick DeGroot trying to do that leapfrog approach and starting to string out the field a little bit, but definitely a lot of chaos going on behind them.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is just you don't know where to feel safe in a pack like that. So, and I'm saying, I'm looking around to see where some of these drivers are. And you mentioned Yari having a little bobble at the start. I think Yari's kind of playing that cautious approach as well in that 49 machine. To say, again, you're trying to find him in this pack here. So you have to zoom out to really get a good view of him. You got Jim Brooks right behind him there in 13th. But I think Yari, he's going fuel mileage here. And we're talking to some drivers pre-race, and that 51 Jim Brooks, he'd mentioned he really liked the way the top side felt here tonight in practice. But they'll say the only thing it isn't going in his favor right now is the fact that pretty much everybody seems to be wanting to kind of run that top line. So that's not going to go in his favor, because that's not where the clean air is going to be. But I definitely think we're seeing some fuel strategies here early in this race.
Yeah, definitely. As you get further back in the pack, you get a lot more chance to actually get more fuel saving. I know I was hearing in the draft map number 5, you could potentially push it to about 29 laps on fuel. So definitely not going to get you to the 2-stop mark for the race without yellows. But it'll be interesting to see. Definitely one of those things that if you don't start doing it immediately, you can't really do it at all. So fuel saving is definitely going to be pretty important here tonight.
Yeah, definitely right there. He's hopped on board here with that 14 of William Gunn. Again, new name, new face to the league, but I'll say so far already 6 spots gained in that Red Bull machine, and I'll say definitely a fitting paint scheme for a car to try to go towards the front there. You go back at F1 history, and it's pretty much you got Red Bull, you got Mercedes, and then lately maybe throwing a Ferrari here and there, but otherwise it's been pretty much those 2 teams that have been so dominant. So if you're going to run the Red Bull scheme, probably got to feel pretty confident about what you're doing here. Almost 3 wide there in front of him. Eric Schaus, Andrew Wood there, and I believe that was possibly Luis Gonzalez as well there. They settle things out there and get back to single wide here. But yeah, right now these guys are definitely going after it pretty early.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at the number 3 of Alec Coates, up 7 spots in the 4th position. As you mentioned, William Gunn now up 8 spots in the 8th position, and we got Kobe Moore back there in the 903 machine up to 14th place so far.
Yeah, saying you're not seeing double there. If you look at Nick DeGroot's car and then you jump back over to Kobe Moore's car, pretty much identical looking cars there. Teammates over there with the Motorsports.com sponsorship and such. And I've known Kobe for a long time too. Really good guy, and kind of honestly more of a road course ace in that car. Obviously a little bit of a miscue in the car number. Will be in future races car number 87. But you're right though. Yeah, 903 here tonight. But we got that fixed for future races. But yeah, Kobe, like you said, making some pretty early moves, and like I said, more of a road racer, but making pretty big moves early on here as he's going to peek to the outside there. Jim was pretty much running just about a car length away from the wall. Kobe's like, that's just enough space for me. He's going to try to squeeze it up there. A little bit of aero push, has to roll out of it. And look how much space there Jim gains out of 2, but then had to lift on exit.
Into the wall, looks like the 83
of
Jack Walls.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's around backwards. No yellow somehow. And that will stay under green, so that's a tough break for Jack here. He's going to try to limp this to the pits. Let's go back and try to take a look at this number 83 of Jack Walls. He's up top and trying to look. There's a car to his inside. I think that's Jared Kaczynski, and it kind of looks like they're starting to stack up a little bit up top, and I just kind of see the path of that number 2, and just straight into the side pot of Jack. Nothing he could do.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Jack was holding a steady line there, and the two just definitely drifted up there, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's going to be a huge, huge disadvantage for the 83. I believe our first winner of the year, right, at Kansas.
yeah, I believe you're spot on there. So I say he's still trying to make it to pit road here as he's already gone. I believe, yeah, just one down. We'll be probably 2, if not 3 laps down once everything gets all squared away. So, yeah, that's a tough one. I say he started off so strong at the beginning of the year, and then unfortunately, just it seems like basically used up all the luck to kick off the season, and then it's just gone downhill from there for him. So I was like,
Right.
hopefully find a way to kind of kick things back around. But so like you mentioned, while we were watching that and looking back at the stuff, we're talking about drivers making those moves back up to the front. And yeah, Luis Gonzalez, he's worked his way up now into the 4th position there. So right in the thick of it here. And then a little bit further back there, William Gunn, he's up to 7th now as well. But like I said, I think there's definitely a few different game plans going on in this race at the moment. And say, obviously up front, Matt Wagner and Nick DeGroot, they just want to kind of just control this race, keep the pace up. And that was said, I think from there on out, the drivers kind of from 3rd, 4th on back. And I watched Craig Forsyth. I think he's probably going as aggressively fuel save as he can while keeping that very, very solid track position in that number 27.
Yeah, we've got a lot of movers up in the top 7, other than Nick DeGroot there, who did start on pole. But we do have a couple falling back. That's Eric Peterson and Eric Schaus, both down 6. Obviously, we already mentioned Yari Rupacher falling down a little bit to 8th. So maybe a mega, super save mode opportunity there for them. So I guess one quick update. It looks like Jack Wells is finally getting back onto the pits, but he may have come back up over the line as he was exiting pits. So hopefully he does not have a penalty there for I believe, I can't remember if it's a pass through or a stop and go for an early.
Unsafe pit exit.
Unsafe pit exit. There it is. But yeah, currently being scored 3 laps down as he rejoins the track.
Yeah, so he's just going to need a lucky break on cautions, basically, maybe get a couple laps in one shot, if you will. So I'll say basically, because I mean, he pitted now at lap 12, so basically, if he could get a yellow during the pit cycle where he's in front of the leaders, then he would get a waiver, and he could almost go from 3 to 1 down. Basically, a perfect world situation. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like you mentioned though, for Eric Peterson, Eric Schaus, I'm not really worried about those two, honestly, because I've raced plenty with Eric, and well, actually with both Erics, but I say with Peterson especially. He's a very, very calculated racer, and he definitely works the numbers very well in that 72, or sorry, in the 36 car, apologies. So I think for Eric Peterson right here, I think he's probably watching that field number and just basically trying to run this stint as far as he can. I don't think he's trying to 2-stop it by any means. I think still 3 stops for everybody, but I think he just wants to go that little bit extra, make that big stop, and maybe if we do stay green throughout the race tonight, make that final pit stop just that little bit shorter than some of these other guys up front.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it ends up playing out. I know we mentioned earlier you could do something where you go 30-30, 20-20, or I mean, there really are a lot of different combinations that you can do to try and stretch a couple pit entries out, and I guess fuel runs. You really should say. What do you got?
Little kiss of the wall by the 14 there, William Gunn. I think just got a little too much dirty air there behind. I think that was Alec Coates there. I think he might get away with it. Well, say he's losing some momentum, and see Andrew Wood's going to try to take quick advantage of that there. But we'll have to keep an eye and see if that car is looking okay still. I'd say it was just a little kiss there, so I think he may have gotten away with it. But I would say it's definitely a kind of a touch and go moment there for that 14, and I'd say just definitely kind of slowed down his progress just a little bit at this point.
Yeah, shouldn't be too big of a deal, but something to keep note of. Maybe if he is out in the lead, could maybe struggle outside of that dirty air. Unfortunately, sometimes when you get a little bit of damage, just like in the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series Super Speedway events here at Area 51, you get a little bit of damage and you can't. You maybe be able to push okay. Well, obviously in Indy cars you wouldn't push, but you maybe be able to be behind someone okay. But being out front might be at a disadvantage. So hopefully he can keep with the draft and not too much damage there for him.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Walls, you mentioned, let's say, with no pit penalty, he stayed out. Also, unscheduled stop, though, unfortunately, the 41 of Taylor Reeves just rolling out of pit road now. And this really throws a wrench into Jack's plans now, because now that 41 is going to be 1 down. compared to Jack's 3 down. So I say that's again, without that car being involved in the incident, he would basically still be the lucky dog. So Jack's going to be again kind of in a tough spot with that, staying green with that incident there. Unfortunately, just by the time he spun it around there, the field has pretty much cleared him. So iRacing determined not to throw the yellow there. So definitely a tough break for Jack. But again, still lots of racing to go, but it's going to definitely need a lot of breaks to go his way to get back into the thick of things here. So I say up front, things pretty steady here with these top 3 with Matt Wagner, Nick DeGroot, and Craig Forsyth. And then for pretty much Alec Coates on back, it's kind of just a barn burner with these guys. It looks like everybody's starting to try to jockey for those track positions as they go here. Oh, once again, 14 actually stuck in the wall. This time a lot harder of a hit and trying to get it unhooked, and he does, but unfortunately you can see that right front. Although we got one spinning behind him as well. Is that Jim Herrick around, I think, as well? Unfortunately, in the 40 car.
Yeah, it looks like Jim Herrick. And a yellow will be thrown this time.
Yeah, because there's a car coming around there, so he's going to loop it back around here. So we'll say there's kind of a 2 incidents there, if you will. Say the first was with the with that 14 catching the wall, and once again, unfortunately, and then getting that right front damage. And yeah, something happened with Jim Herrick right afterwards. So we'll try to find from Jim's point of view where this all occurred. Oh, actually, oh wow, it started off the backstretch.
Yeah, not seeing a great capture of it here in SDK, but you might be able to.
Yeah, we're taking a look, and oh yeah, it looks like Jim tried to make a move underneath. I think that was Covey Moore, and the 2 car was still there. And I think from there, the car, I'd say maybe a little bit of damage because that thing just didn't rotate. Action, let's see, no, they still come through unscathed. But I think maybe a little bit of left rear damage because then, yeah, it just car kind of heads down into the grass onto the apron there. So that was what we saw in the background from the 14's incident there as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's what sent then Jim Herrick around there on the grass. Tried to do what he could to hang on to. He'll pick up the speed here. But just to say, these things only handle so well in the grass. And, yeah, you see he almost had it caught, and then just a little bit of correction, had to loop it back around again. So, interesting timing for the yellow here, Boomer, because again, we're right on lap number 24, coming to hit pit road here at 25. And do need to mention the 14, the 41, the 110, and the 40 are all trapped 1 down at the moment, with, I believe, the 14 possibly being the driver to get the wave around. So we'll keep an eye on that as the field hits pit road.
I have to see, because depending on when that contact he made with the wall and how it came out with the yellow, he may not be eligible for the lucky dog.
Yeah, I'll say, well, look, actually, he's kind of stuck behind the pace car here, so yeah, it may not be him, actually. But what he does add, actually, there it goes. It looks like it's going to be Taylor Reeves getting the wave around there. So good break for the 41 car. But the one thing for the 14, that it's not all lost here, because he should be able to stay out here, and he'll still wave around kind of on the 1 to go. So not all lost, and say kind of similar situations here for Joseph DeCiro, as well as Jim Herrick, Jack Walls. Although I think a few of them may have pitted under the caution there, so I'll have to see if some of these drivers might get sent back to the tail end of the line though. So we'll kind of see where everybody cycles out. But the pit stop battle though, Matt Wagner is going to lead the field at a pit road over Nick DeGroot to hang on to the lead. And yeah, it looks like they're already going around Jim Herrick there in the 40. So yeah, so a tough break there for Jim. But again, depending on how all things shake out, he might wind up cycling back as the only car 1 lap down. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. And then, yeah, looking through the field here, nothing really stands out on the pit stop side of things. For the caution flag pit stop, everybody in the 7, 8, 9 second range. William got in the 14. He had a 16-second pit stop. I don't know if that's just maybe a slightly longer stop. Because, again, fast repair should still be a quick stop. I don't know if maybe he opted to save the fast repair, but I would suspect he wouldn't have. We saw that right front tire kind of flopping around.
Kind of dangling. I thought, well, I guess, what's it, like 15 seconds for a front wing replacement? Is that correct?
I think it's like 5 or 10 for the front or for the rear, but
but I think it would have been more than that for that tire. So who knows?
Yeah. You would think he would have taken the fast car. We'll have to wait and see. We do have two drivers that are going to hit pit road here. Joseph Morales there. He's just kind of getting a little extra fuel in there. And then also Taylor Reeves again. He got the Lucky Dog wave round, so he was able to pit that second time around. So that's a great opportunity for him to get back on sequence with the field. But again, though, the fuel strategy here, Boomer, I mean, we're right back to where we were basically, because we're going to restart this race here on lap 27. So, I mean, basically, as they now, instead of it being that 3-stop race, now we're in that 2-stop window without really any too big of an option for strategy once again.
Yeah, right. Kind of puts you right back in. I know we've. It's kind of been funny how some of these races have gone. Either the fuel has been completely in the middle of a cycle and almost not worth pitting, or it's been like right on when everyone was intending to pit anyway. So not really too much, unfortunately, to make it exciting for us in the booth for some of these cautions where they've fallen this year. But yeah, definitely splits the race up into the first quarter, and no change here for the rest. It should be at least.
Yeah, so I mean, the main difference will be, of course, if someone can maybe save and go a little bit longer. But what this might do is just kind of ramp everybody up that little bit more, and so we might not see as many drivers fuel save like they did earlier. However, up front, though, it's going to be Matt Wagner leading the field back to green here as he drops the gear and gets back underway. And so we're starting lap number 27 here at Michigan. I'll say Nick DeGroot made quick work on that restart. I almost wonder maybe Matt didn't have his fuel map set correctly there, because it seemed like he just blew by that number 6 car. But I say that everybody's back up to speed. Craig tried to take advantage, couldn't quite do it though. So I think we're going to go back to seeing the leapfrog approach, and as there they go right there between that 6 and 8, 9. And so if they have the opportunity to, I think we'll see them doing this probably most of the race here. Until it comes down to crunch time, and then everybody's going to start to get that little bit more selfish and just kind of think about themselves at the end of this thing. But right now, though, say as everybody's starting to build back up and kind of just build a cycle back up to the front, let's say a little further back, though, say these guys are getting pretty dicey here. Yari Brupacher in the sandwich with 3 wide. There was the 2 car of Jared Kaczynski. Yari almost makes contact there. I believe that was with, is that Dan Marrero? Oh, we got one spin in the back there. As Julian Altina, caution is back out, and looks like everybody sneaks through just barely. Close call there for a couple drivers there. And those drivers that took the wave around there, that is the best thing that they could have seen there. I say it's a tough break for Julian, but that's exactly what they needed to have happen. Also a great break for Jim Herrick, as well, as that should put him back on the lead lap, as long as he didn't have to go off track or anything to avoid it. So let's go back and take a look what happened to Julian there. But yeah, it looked like there's just a little bobble there for that 31 car, and unfortunately just did not end well for him. Actually, we'll back it up a little further here. Sorry, go ahead.
I say definitely an unfortunate bobble there. Looked like had someone come down a little bit in front of him there. Don't know who's.
Looks like the 2. Looks like he got loose there at a Fournier, right? Though Julian tried to react to it, and then unfortunately that reaction you see there puts him into the apron. And we've talked about that before. These cars do not react well to the banking differentials, and of course, once he gets the 2 on the grass, at that point he's just along for the ride. And yes, I have a feeling I'm about to watch what you just saw there as well.
Yeah,
because there were some very close calls to this 31 car.
Is that Joseph DeCiro, I believe?
Yeah, that blue, yellow and blue.
DeCiro. Man, Joseph DeCiro just barely missed Julian there. Wow, some heads-up driving to not run over him.
Yeah, so I'm running at a quarter speed. You can see still kind of how quick it all happened. So that's going to put us back under yellow. Not a lot of pit strategy here. Most of the field here staying out. I'll say, but of course, that number 31 is going to hit pit road, get service done to that car, get a fast repair. I'm going to keep an eye out for Jim Herrick, as he should be getting a wave around back onto the lead lap, if I am not mistaken. We'll keep an eye on him real quick, and yeah, I think he's starting to pick up some speed to do that. There he goes. So I'll say with that quick yellow, we'll step away for a moment, and then we'll regroup here on the 1 to go, so stay tuned. All right. As you see, lights of our pace car are off, so it's going to be Nick DeGroot leading the field back to green here. And so, Boomer, the top 11 drivers from Nick DeGroot to Luis Gonzalez stay out. From Covey Moore on back, all hit pit road here. And like we mentioned as well, we're back to 23 cars back onto the lead lap here. And then Jack Walls, unfortunately, still, I believe, sitting 2 laps down, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll say I'll wait for the timing scoring to update for me there. So I say he still needs a little bit more breaks to happen. But yeah, 2 down right now in that 83. Yep. But we'll see. I'll say you never know.
Yeah, definitely some time to go. Obviously, none of his own doing there. Jack Walls after the contact with the 2 of Jared Kaczynski, but hope to see him maybe make it back in as we are underway. Nick DeGroot will lead them back to the green flag. Spaced on a little bit. A good restart for the 89. Not such a great restart for looked like Andrew Wood there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big spacing. The driver that was on the ball there a little further back, though, was Eric Schaus. He was ready. He is on that rear wing of Craig Forsyth, but not quite enough to get around him as of yet. And again, I think we're going to start to see that leapfrog pretty early. So the thing about the pit strategy, this could be interesting here, Boomer. Of course, I mean, yeah, it's a 6-lap difference of when they pitted versus those that topped off here. But of course, those drivers that stayed out also were able to run that all magical map 8 and save a ton of fuel under caution. So I don't think it puts them in a window to one stop it per se, because I still think that's too many laps to try to split up into a single stopper instead of a 2-stopper. But maybe just at least shortens one pit stop a fair bit. And unfortunately, Jim Herrick on pit road in the 40 must have had a pit like a pit penalty or something like that, where maybe something wasn't lined up correctly, and that's a heartbreaker for Jim, because he just got his lap back, and then then they had to have serve that penalty right off the bat. That's always a tough break to have to be dealt.
Yeah, for sure. We're probably going to have to see him go probably, I would think, 2 laps
possibly 2 down, because usually it's a 40-second stop and hold, and these cars are running 32-second laps.
Yeah, so maybe 2, maybe 3, but definitely a huge bummer there for Jim after getting back on the lead lap there. So
yeah, so this will be interesting now too. Depending on where he cycles out, he's actually going to be now competing with Jack Walls for that lucky dog position. Because if they're both cycled 2 down, they'll be right on par with one another. And still trying to see, hasn't rolled out as of yet. And yeah, there he goes. He's starting to roll now, and Jack Walls has passed him for position. So right now you got the 83 and the 40 sitting now 2 down, unfortunately, as Matt Wagner continues to lead the way with that leapfrog game going on between he and Nick DeGroot.
Yeah, we'll have to see and maybe pay attention to Jim Herrick. He's about 10 seconds back from Jack Walls, so probably out of the draft here.
They are in different pit strategies. Let's say Jack, pitted at 28.
Yeah.
And then Jim Herrick at 33. So Jim can go a little further by knowing Jack. He's probably also now knowing where he is in track relation, probably also saving fuel. But I'm watching this battle up front here, the Boomer, and that leapfrog thing's, I think, starting to get maybe a little more aggressive. I think Craig Forsyth, Andrew Wood are trying to find somewhere to go to spoil this party between the two of them. You saw Craig go high. Andrew sends it low. Can't quite keep it down enough, though, so that Matt's going to hang on to that spot. These guys are going after it right now.
Yeah, they're getting very aggressive. Definitely some people that are hungry to get towards the front here. I know Craig would love to either leapfrog Nick or Matt to get into this top pack, as we see some very dicey moves. Everyone's kind of all over the place coming down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, so once again, it looks like everybody's kind of really running that top side. So again, we talked to Jim Brooks in the 51 earlier. He said he liked the top side during practice, and the problem is he likes it, and so does everybody else, so he's not having any luck to do anything with it. And then we'll go back to look to see for those that pitted where those first runners are. And right now the first of those is the number 87 technically of Covey Moore. So right now showing the 903, of course, on the timing and scoring. But right now he's the furthest up in 11th of those that topped off. Ahead of him, though, another new name, new face of the league, though, here is that 74 of Ryan Steinhoff in that black, purple, and green car. So, again, really cool to see some new names, new faces to the league. So, definitely appreciate Ryan jumping aboard here with Area 51. So, and right now, pretty good showing for that number 74 car, right in the thick of this main battle here. And this is a good spot to really kind of just watch and learn and kind of see the craziness that these guys are doing and be like, all right, now how do I get comfortable doing this myself?
Yeah, definitely plenty of time here to still kind of figure out what your strategy is going to be. Definitely, some opportunities to move towards the front. And obviously the ones I think that are getting the best practice for it really are the 89 of Nick DeGroot and the 6 of Matt Wagner, who have been these top two leapfrogging here for most of this race.
Yeah, and you're spot on there. I mean, they've pretty much been doing this from lap one, and let's say I'm trying to look to see because try to remember the front row was there because obviously Nick DeGroot was one. I think the other wasn't Yari. Who started up? Oh, Eric Peterson, I believe, in the 36 car started in P2. But again, I think he had a different strategy on fuel savings, and unfortunately, with the way the cautions fell, it hasn't really kind of fallen into his lap, unfortunately. But yeah, so pretty much right off the bat, though, Matt and Nick got together up front, and this has been what we've seen from these two from pretty much lap number 1, lap number 2 with these two.
Yeah, definitely making it look easy as a lot of the guys behind them are pretty dicey. I mean, these guys are going, 220, 230 into, especially into turn 1. They're probably even going faster than that. So things can happen really quick, as it looks like we might actually see Craig Forsyth try and get a run to at least stall, maybe try and stall Matt Wagner out. Nope, not quite. But he at least got to the side of him, and you'll see the 6 of Matt Wagner dive down to the inside in turn 1 here to take the lead.
Yeah, as I hopped on board here with that 74 of Ryan Steinhoff, who's kind of had the best view of this fight up in front of him, as he's just going to squeeze to the outside of Jim Brooks there. So yeah, they're definitely touching 230s entering turn 3 and turn 1. I think I may have saw 233 at one point, and that's probably with some of these guys having to lift a little bit early. I mean, let's jump up to Matt Wagner as he grabs the toe here off of Nick DeGroot. And as he drops low, he's already up to 230 there, drops to 229 for a bit there in the dirty air. So I think these guys are, probably about 230 or so in clean air. And then I think, if you get a really good toe, probably can get up into the mid 230s with these cars. So, but like you were saying, though, these guys, I don't think anybody's going to be very willing to give up these top two spots with Nick and Matt here.
No, for sure. You're definitely, I don't think you're going to get quite the run enough. Obviously, Craig was kind of trying to time it out and see what he could do to at least get side by side with Matt, and that could come handy for the last lap, where you could maybe get beside whoever's in second place. But it does look like we're going to see a couple here. Jeff Heisong is going to try and spoil the party, as he's just to the inside of Nick DeGroot. Looks like Nick might still get the toe down the back straightaway from the 6, and maybe not. Jeff Heisong's still kind of sticking in there.
Yeah, he held strong there. While you were talking about that, we went on board with him there, entering turn number 3 and turn 1. I'm sorry, and I'm pretty sure I saw that thing click over to 237 miles an hour on the entry into turn number 1 before he had to roll out of it to not run over Matt Wagner. But you're right, though. I think Jeff's he's done right, and he says, you know what, it's time to go. So this is where things get a little hairy, though. You got to find that clean air on the front wing of this car to help it rotate. And you also see Eric Peterson. He's joined this mix as well. So we went from everybody kind of playing nice and just going kind of nose to tail and just kind of taking it calm and cool, collected, to pretty much having 2x2, sometimes 3 wide packs here up front. On starting to come to lap number 47 here. And again, talk about the fuel window here, Boomer. They pitted at 24. We're at 47 now. So that's right on about 23 laps in fuel. Of course, a little bit of fuel savings with that second yellow. So we'll see what those numbers look like here. But I predict probably about 55. I would think we probably might start seeing some drivers have to kind of duck off into pit road.
Yeah, these guys are, for a second, they're almost looking like a NASCAR pack in the draft, trying to go too wide, as many rows deep. But yeah, like you said, going to be getting close to pit stops here. Would expect to see some people try to stop at least by lap 50. I think that almost virtually guarantees that you will make it on one more stop. Honestly, they probably could stop now and still make it. So definitely a couple options here, but you'll definitely see everyone's going to need to make at least one more stop. I think 2 more stops, right? Yeah, through the end of the race. 2 stops
total, yes.
2 more stops still. Yep.
Yeah, so, the question is...
The window is there to be able to make it on 2 more stops pretty easily.
Yeah, my question is going to be, I think it's going to be lap times. Is what kind of lap times can you maybe run by yourself versus being in a draft? Or I wonder if maybe pitting early and not having any drafting help might be detrimental to their plans there to be able to make the strategy work to pit early. So that might be part of why we're seeing these guys not come in yet. Like I said, almost like a NASCAR plate race. with these guys maybe needing to stay in this pack to keep their pace up here. So I think if they start going single file or running on their own, that pace probably slows down by a tenth or two. And I'm saying with these Indy cars, those couple tenths here and there make a world of difference.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not going to make as much of a difference here on a big 2-mile track, but yeah, you can definitely chip away a little bit by being a couple tenths faster a lap.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find any comparable drivers here. See if there's anybody kind of off on their own right now, and just don't unfortunately really have anybody.
Yeah, I think the only one is really Jim Herrick by himself.
I think even Jim's got some help around him with the 41. I'm not sure if they're drafting together or not, but Jim's in a 3280. Leaders are all in the 3240s, 3250s. So probably, again, that's 3/4 of a second difference. So I think again, that tells you start doing that for 5+ laps, you're starting to get seconds behind us. I think our leader Matt Wagner maybe a couple of little connection hiccups there. That's always going to be cause for concern.
Yeah.
So okay, so we talked
even
about
more blinks.
Yeah, he's definitely having some hiccups right now. So that's going to make Craig Forsyth a little nervous, and especially for the 89 Nick DeGroot if he gets low and then kind of has that little jump high. But yeah, so what I'm thinking here though too, the Boomers talking about some strategies of pitting. This is where I think teamwork could come into play. If you can find some teammates to work with you, say, hey, let's pit together. We could pit early, but pit together. And we leapfrog each other to keep our pace up in this race versus us pitting on our own.
Yeah, it sounds like a couple trying to pit here. The 14 in as well.
Yep. Yeah, so Nick DeGroot and Luis Gonzalez also on pit road. So those were the first two takers here at 53 here. As I was saying, not wanting or not needing to invite Craig Forsyth, he's going to try to throw his name into the hat in this one as well. As Andrew Wood is trying to squeeze to the outside of Matt Wagner in the 6, but couldn't quite fit there. But yeah, so that's going to be those two to start off this lead pack here, pit road. I think Matt Wagner, I thought I saw him ducking off. He's going to hit pit road this next time by, bringing along with him Ryan Steinhoff. And looks like Ryan definitely made sure he got woed down. I'm not sure if Matt got woed in time there. He looked pretty hot on entry. When we have our next set of pit stops, we got to see where that pit road cycle is at, as Nick DeGroot does go one lap down at the moment, but is in the middle of the draft here, so that could be great news for him. Here comes Craig's going to peel off, and you see that yellow cone right there? That's the pit speed line, so they got to get slowed down in time for that. And it looks like Craig and Alec Coates now on pit road. That's going to cycle to Jeff Heisong, as now he and Andrew Wood are going to start same thing, going to try to start to leapfrog one another. But this might have worked out very well here, I'm feeling like, Boomer, for that number 89 of Nick DeGroot, because look where he is in this pack here. He's effectively 5th on track here. Again, has his his pit stop done, but of course wants to not get trapped a lap down in case of a yellow. But yeah, he's in the pack, he's in the draft. He's going to be having a ton of speed right now, making some big moves.
Oh my gosh, that's aggressive. Glad he pulled out of that, because that was pretty dicey to be between was it Eric Peterson and Eric Schaus there, trying to run them 3 wide through the middle. That was crazy. Yeah, still the first car 1 lap down at least. So if he doesn't, if the yellow does come out, he will get his lap back at least. But yeah, definitely about to get it back. Yeah,
he's got it there, and that's the thing is it's the difference right now between fresh tires and low fuel. I feel like there's kind of that, which is kind of the advantage right now. And right now, it looks like it's going to be the tires for Nick DeGroot. He's able to swing on by, like I said, get his lap back the old-fashioned way, as Eric Schaus now stays out still another lap. So we've still got about 6 drivers yet to pit there. If you look at the timing and scoring, those are the ones who have yet to pit here in this race for their scheduled green flag pit stop. So trying to see where the rest of the field have cycled out in relation to this field, but as it looks right now, definitely an advantage I'm saying is going to that number 89 of Nick DeGroot here for that in and out cycle.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a great opportunity for him to be leading this draft here and coming out ahead of quite a few who have made their pit stops. He is leading everyone that has pitted so far, so he should have a pretty good opportunity to cycle back to the lead. It does look like Craig Forsyth has actually leapfrogged Matt Wagner in the battle for second place, so when it comes down to it, it looks like it'll be Nick DeGroot and Craig Forsyth kind of battling back and forth, trying to probably leapfrog each other to keep that lead pack stretched out as much as possible.
Yeah, and right now it looks like the last of drivers to pit are going to be Covey Moore, and then I believe, I was going to say Jason Hand, but he's actually just hit pit road now. So Covey Moore right now, he's the one that's really been able to run the field number here from lap 30 to right now lap 59. So he's gone 29 laps on fuel. So again, not in a window where he can make it to the end by any means, but I mean, still stretching as far as he possibly could. He's going to hit pit road. I thought I saw in the background yet Jock Wall's coming in along with him also. And that should pretty much complete our pit stop cycles here, as Nick DeGroot's going to take the point back over. And like you said, though, Craig Forsyth, he's now kind of jumped himself up into second during this whole cycle. You see Eric Schausler just rolling out of pit road there in that number 72. Looks like he should stay with the main draft, so I believe we're going to have about 13 possibly cars in this lead pack once everything cycles through. So we'll see where Covey Moore cycles out. But right now it's showing looks like about that 13 or so from Craig Forsyth, Nick DeGroot, back to about, I think, Dan Morera here in that number 26 car.
And make it official. Looks like Nick DeGroot and Craig Forsyth have cycled all the way back to the lead. Now that everyone has made their final pit stops, I guess actually I take it back. The only one I see that has not pitted yet is Robert DuPont in the 07. So still looking to make his second pit stop of the night.
Yeah, he's kind of off on his own here. So yeah, definitely something off on that one. Then also Andrew Wood back on pit road, and unfortunately for Jimmy Herrick, didn't get the timely caution he was looking for, so he's on pit road as well.
Ooh, looks like a pit penalty for Andrew Wood. He's taken over 20 seconds here, so I'm assuming it's a 40-second penalty.
Maybe an unsafe exit there in the 64 car. I think that might be exactly it, Boomer. So that's a tough one to swallow. Our last week's winner actually looks like maybe about a 20 or 30-second holds because he's rolling out now, and so he might stay just one down here. It's going to be tight, though.
What, I guess maybe you're more well-versed in the penalties than I am, but I thought most penalties were 40 seconds, so I'm curious what would be a 30-second penalty, seeing as he was on, his pit time was 29.92 seconds.
Yeah, I've honestly, I haven't figured out the rhyme or reason. Sometimes I feel like when you think it's going to be a 40-second stop and hold, it winds up being like 24, 25 seconds, and it doesn't make any sense a lot of times. But what's good for Andrew, though, is he was able to easily get back out on track here, stay just the one down, and I believe as it runs,
it looks like he's about 7 seconds ahead of
car one down. Yeah, so the problem for him that was, you look at the leaders, you look back to the 41, or I should say look in front of to the 41 of Taylor Reeves. He's only about not even half a straightaway. I would say we look at the back, and that's the pack behind him here. So that right now, this is what could change the 64 being the lucky dog to being the 41 here in just another probably couple of laps based on the pace up front. Because Taylor's running 33.5s, leaders are in the 32.5s, and they're about to start to catch that toe of that number 41.
Yeah, so Andrew is actually just about a lap down to Taylor Reeves there, so definitely quite a bit to make up after that unscheduled pit stop there for either a penalty or maybe he did have some issues, but I would assume a penalty without knowing.
Yeah, I think it's probably an unsafe exit because usually that's when they get you back after the fact. So, just a tough break for him. And so, but we do have like I said, once again, is we've got the top, it looks like actually top 11 here with Ryan Steinoff being the last of the leaders here in this top 11. Julian Altina as well in the 31. Then you got to go about 2 seconds back to Covey Moore and Dan Morera, and you can see they're already trying to work together, trying to do that leapfrog approach, try to see if they can work with each other to chase back down those leaders here, which right now the lap time's not quite reflecting it. There are still a couple tenths off of what they need to be at par with the leaders here. While now Craig and Nick are starting to do that leapfrog game with one another. It's now they catch that draft of that 41, which will unfortunately now put him one down, which is exactly what Andrew did not want to see.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for Andrew Wood, as he will now be the second car one lap down, and as we mentioned, just about 1 lap behind Taylor Reeves, and could actually potentially go 2 laps down himself here, as the he's about 59 seconds behind this lead pack, and we're only running about 32-second laps here. So,
and actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, maybe quickly he'll be going 2 down himself.
because we're talking about needing to kind of have someone to compare lap times to. With Craig and Nick here, again, kind of alternating the lead here. They're running about 32.4s, 32.5 range, whereas Andrew Wood on his own is running 32.60. So again, about 1 to 2 tenths of a second slower, even with Andrew probably pretty much running qualifying laps in that 64. And I say we know how fast of a driver he is just based on his performance last week at Gateway. So it's just at this point, and that kind of goes back to what we talked about, that strategy of, hey, do we pit early on our own? Do we need to have a draft? And there's your answer. You're going to have some draft help. So now, let's say then the second question is going to be kind of, I want to watch what Covey Moore and Dan Marrera are able to do lap time wise, because if they can run just the two of them laps that the leaders are running, that's where I start to think, okay, let me make a friend here in pit stop cycle and be like, hey, you pit with me. We'll leapfrog each other, see if we can break away from the rest of the field. But I don't know if it's going to fly, though, because we saw with Nick there, he pitted early. He caught the pack before they pitted, and that pretty much just threw him right to the front. So it seems like the pit stop time is just enough to lose just about a lap to the exact number.
Yeah, definitely a big opportunity for Nick to stay up at the front of this pack. Couple names up here, up 8 positions in the top 5. We're looking at Alec Coates here in 3rd place and Jim Brooks in 5th place. So good to see those guys making some headway and moving towards the front of the pack here towards the later stages of this race.
Yeah, I say Jim's finally got a little bit of cleaner up on the top of this track. I say that's probably something he's been wanting for a number of laps here. And you're right, as that roll out of it big time, they're entering turn number 1. They're not to get into the back of Alec Coates. And just to the inside, you see over on his left, there's the 18 of Jeff Hysong. So say Jeff's kind of trying to roll the middle of the track, but say doesn't have the big draft that he's hoping for on that outside line. I see a little bit of a hiccup now from Nick DeGroot's connection there. So say not sure, maybe something going on the server side possibly. As I said, we've seen a number of drivers here unfortunately have that little bit
Nick
of a
Lincoln
connection
in and out
hiccup.
again. Yeah.
And also I mentioned
like
Jim
Matt
Herrick on
O'Kane.
pit road here.
Oh man, that's a tough night for Jim. Looks like he has Jim's connection actually dropped. Upload packet loss. So he's
in the number 40.
Yeah. Jim Herrick, yeah, he's out. He's has reconnected to the session, but I think that's gonna officially put him out and done.
Yeah, so there's no recovering from that at this point because we're down to 30 to go here, 29 at the line. So say for at this point, Jim Herrick's gonna have to kind of be the sponsor, team owner, kind of cheerleader, if you will, because he does have a team. One of his drivers here in that 40 race, where number 27 of Craig Forsyth, they say he's right in the thick of this thing, and we still got that one pit stop left to go in this race. And again, I think that's going to be where the strategy is going to kind of kick in here. So do need to mention that Covey Moore, Dan Marrera group there, they have not really been able to close the gap, but they are running 32.50s, pretty much comparable with the leaders. So
yeah,
I think, I think if you have somebody you trust doing a good pit entry, pit exit on pit road, I think you try to line up with them and say, hey, well, let's pit at this lap and let's do it and see what we can make happen. But again, I think a really good pit entry exit kind of spoils everything. Apologies for the background noise.
No worries there, Gael. Yeah, definitely interesting to see for sure.
So we'll see if there's any takers on. But again, I mean, based on what we saw from DeGroot there earlier, it seems like of course, I mean, the big concern is if you get trapped with the untimely caution, get trapped a lap down. I mean, that's the biggest risk of pitting early. But I mean, I think we've shown if you can get a good in, good out lap, you're going to cycle in with the draft pack. And so I think based on that, that's probably a pretty good spot to be in. So I'm kind of torn what the right approach is going to be in this one. So we'll have to wait and see here, and say it probably won't be too much longer though here, Boomer, because we're on this 52 is when DeGroot pitted. We're at 74 now, so I'll say that window probably not too far away here.
Yeah, I think that window is definitely open. It just really depends on when people want to come in and make their final stop. Obviously, looking at the time that they spent on pit road, Nick DeGroot with 36.05 seconds, whereas most people were in the high 36s or the low 37s. So a couple other people, looks like Ryan Steinhoff actually had a 36.07. So two of the fastest that came in and out of pit road, but I think that'll definitely be the game changer for sure, to see how fast you can get in and out. And the secondary thing will be the secondary important thing will be who you get out with, and if you can match the pack or not.
Yeah, exactly, Ryan. So that battle between Craig and Nick there, right behind them, Jim Brooks, he's been able to get around a couple of those guys to cycle himself now up into third. So I'd say this could be a great opportunity for Jim, because if Nick here pits pretty soon, then Jim's going to be able to kind of lead that pack. Yeah, we'll keep it. Oh, caution's out.
Oh, we got a yellow.
And I believe it's up front there. So that's going to be, again, right at the fuel number. So let's go see what happened. I think it may have involved the 2. Oh, yeah, definitely the 2. Oh, you see the 07 there, Robert DuPont. Wow, somehow hung on to that car there. I thought his car was done for as well. Ryan Steinhoff actually on pit road here. Pits were closed there, unfortunately, for that 74. Not sure, maybe he had to pit for fuel no matter what. That's a tough one for him, but I think it looks like Jack Walls possibly involved as well in the 83. So let's go back. Let's take a look here, because it looked like it did involve Jared Kaczynski, and I think it may have been on the pit exit here.
Yeah, definitely Jared just absolutely losing it, and I can't believe Jack Walls, making contact with the 2, and his night is probably going to be done here. Looks like Jared Kaczynski has actually disconnected as well. So.
And yeah, you see right here, we're watching it back on the replay, and yeah, just got too high, got up into the kind of that, again, the banking difference, and then from there he's just along for the ride, and yeah, just pretty heavy contact actually with that outside wall as he was trying to build up that speed there. And then yeah, let's say we'll look out in the background here. You'll see Jack Walls, I have a feeling, come into frame from a pretty far distance there, and it's just, you never know, are they going to kind of keep the brakes locked down, or are they going to slide back down the track? And it's a little bit of A, a little bit of B there, unfortunately. So
a little tough to judge, but I don't think that the 2 will be on Jack Wall's Christmas card list this year for sure.
No, for sure. And so I'm going to hop over to Robert DuPont, because then he's trying to figure out where he needs to go. And I thought this car was gone, and then he just keeps it off the wall. That's a close call for that 07 as well. So luckily Robert's good to go as well, as we're back to live, as pit stops have cycled through, and Nick DeGroot's going to continue to hold on to that lead, and Craig Forsyth's going to come out right behind him, then Jim Brooks in third. So pretty much the top 5 here holding pretty solid here.
Yeah.
And so trying to look to see about timing and scoring. So I'm not sure where the lucky dog went on this one. I'm showing the 41 as being 1 lap down of Taylor Reeves. So I'm not sure if anybody got the wave by. Possibly, actually, I think the 00 possibly of Jason Hand.
Okay.
And I'm showing Jason back onto the lead lap. Or actually, you know who it probably was here, depending on where everything was cycled around. I'm watching Andrew Wood as well. I think Andrew... Oh, no, I think Andrew... Is Andrew still trapped 1 down here, or is he back on the lead lap? I think I'm showing Andrew back on the lead lap here.
Yeah, I show Andrew on the lead lap, as well as Ryan Steinhoff.
Oh, and I think what happened, actually, yeah, so... Andrew is yet to pit. I think he got the wave around, so he's waiting for these guys to kind of clear through so he can hit pit road, I believe. So I think Andrew Wood may be actually the one that got the wave around here, so we should see him cut left to hit pit road, but doesn't. This is an odd situation for the 64 here, so he's going to be in fuel trouble here without a yellow, because he pitted at 59 here, Boomer. So, I mean, we're at, what are we at now? At 79, I believe?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so he's been 20 laps there. There's no way that he's going to stretch that 41
No, he can't make
lap.
it. He needs a quick yellow.
Yeah.
However, up front, we're going to restart this thing with, what, 21 to go? I think at this point, it's all bets are off. You got to turn that fuel mixture to 1, and these guys are going to start getting greedy, and that might be exactly what Andrew Wood's going to need here on these final 21 laps.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Andrew's obviously sitting in 19th place here. Not much further to drop, really, because I believe Taylor Reeves is still 2 laps down. Jack Wall's multiple laps down. Then Jared Kaczynski, Jim Herrick, Joseph DeSiro all out for tonight. So interesting to see. But, I mean, kind of crazy. Kind of been the theme of the season where yellows just seem to happen right as green flag pit stops are going to happen. So unfortunately, doesn't make it too exciting for the the strategy for us. But we'll look to see Nick DeGroot lead the field back to green here as the pace car ducks off.
So the strategy side probably gone, but the outright kind of no holds barred race now to the end is pretty much that's what we're gonna, I think, see here. So let's say you're gonna have drivers like Matt Wagner is gonna be in 6. He's gonna want to get back up into that top 2. But let's say Craig Forsyth, Jim Brooks, Jeff Heisong, Alec Coates, they're gonna want to keep him on back there because they like that track position that they found here in this race. As we're back to green here, 21 to go. Nick DeGroot, Craig Forsyth leading the field into 1.
Yeah, a lot of these guys in the top 8 really have been here just about this whole race. Really, maybe the exception maybe being Jim Brooks, as he's kind of led the charge lately. But, we've had Nick DeGroot up front. We've had Craig Forsyth up in the top 3 most of this race. Jeff Heisong and Alec Coates have really been in the top 5. Matt Wagner slipping back a little bit, but Eric Schaus and Peterson as well kind of have been here for most of the night. So it'll be interesting to see who can take advantage here towards the end of the race. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on, maybe put some money on that 51 of Jim Brooks as he continues to run that outside line and has made it work very well for him, getting up to the 3rd spot so far, up 10 positions. So far our hard charger actually goes to Julian Altina, though. He is up 14 positions, sitting in the 9th place in the top 10, so a good run after maybe a poor qualifying effort for him tonight.
Here comes Jimmy. He saw the momentum. He's going to try to jump to the 3rd lane here as Craig Forsyth and Nick DeGroot continue to kind of play that leapfrog game. And yeah, unfortunately, Jack, your luck has just not been there tonight. I should say it's the second half of the season, pretty much right after a great start of it. So yeah, definitely feeling for you, man. So hopefully, it's like I said, hopefully it turns soon, but. It's going to be interesting here because I think what we're going to start to see here soon, Boomer, probably not too soon yet, but these guys are going to start to try to figure out, okay, where do I got to position my car? If you're Nick DeGroot, where do I position my car to hold the lead? If you're Craig, where do I position my car to try to get around Nick? And of course, this all depends on things going green to the end. So there are no green-white checkers again. So once you get down to about 5-4 to go here, you know this could be the race. So, and you see Matt Wagner, we talked about him, restarted 6th. He is sending it here, trying to grab 3rd, almost touched the yellow line there. He hangs on to it. But he is definitely leaving nothing to chance here. He's going to go for it all here as we're down to 17 to go.
Yeah, that 6 is definitely right back in the mix and pushing really hard already, trying to get back to the front. Man, this is crazy. They battle 3 wide for 2nd place. And I do want to point out and apologize, Julian. He said that maybe a poor qualifying effort. He actually started 23rd, so I don't think he actually took a time. So I just wanted to correct that and just highlight that he has had a very good run, now up 15 spots in the 8th position after electing not to qualify.
And actually also a great recovery, too, because he was the one who was in that first incident when he kind of reacted to the spin, or not spin, but the move in front of him. He went down to the apron, and that's what caused him to wreck. So, I mean, he had to go basically limp that car to the pits and get back after. As duty to mention, Andrew Wood is on pit road in the 64, unfortunately. So we'll see, maybe he can hold on to the lead lap at least to give himself a fighting chance here to stay in contention in case of a yellow. But yeah, right now though, it is on up front here between
Forsyth absolutely taking the lead back from the 89. It looks like Matt Wagner is actually going to get a good run to take over the 2nd spot as well, as something seems to be happening to that 89. I don't know if he just got some bad air or what, but he kind of just got swallowed up by those top 3 there.
Yeah, well, I think he's also lost his drafting buddy. He was working with Craig really well, but then you saw there Craig ran to the bottom side, which gave the draft to Matt Wagner, and so kind of advantage goes there. But I mean, yeah, look at this pack now up front here. I mean, you've got 7 cars, I should say, just right on top of each other here. Yeah. If you're back there with Luis Gonzalez and Julian Altina, you might be feeling pretty safe where you are right there. I'll say, because Jeff Heisong, though, he's got the best view of it all, because these guys are starting to run 2-3 wide here once again, as now Jim Brooks has kind of got trapped to the high side behind Nick DeGroot. Now Nick's going to make that big, a little bit of a blink there, but making a big move as well. Has to roll out of it there, try to squeeze the middle. Couldn't do it. But yeah, right now these guys are going after him. Yeah, we talk about Matt Wagner, though. He has gotten himself to that 2nd position here after restarting 6th, though. A little bit of a ball by the 3, hangs on to it.
The top 9 are now locked in this battle, 3 wide. This square looks like a stock car plate race. This is incredible. I'm kind of waiting for this chaos to cause an issue, especially if the 89 keeps blinking. But the 27 of Craig Forsyth and the 6 of Matt Wagner keep leapfrogging themselves through the positions for first as Al Coates tries to make something happen all the way on the outside line. But I think the 6 and the 27 will be able to pull away as they get to the front stretch here.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. As I say, Craig's he's decided, okay, at this point, even though we still got 12 to go, I'm going to live low, but as Nick DeGroot's going to try to find a spot.
4 wide, are you kidding me?
I think he had to roll out of it there, was a little bit worried if he was going to even make the turn. I'm impressed that car didn't loop around on him there. But, man, as I say, that's going to be Craig's, that's a wake-up call to Craig.
Oh, here's contact. There we go.
Eric Schaus around. And caution is out, and I think it might just be the 72 here. We'll go back and we'll watch what happened there. There was contact between Eric and another car. Couldn't quite make out who it was, but we are under yellow, unfortunately.
Looks like Jeff Heisong, and might have spun off the nose of Jeff Heisong and made contact with maybe Julian, I believe. Yeah. Yep.
So we're watching the 72, the Hot Wheels car here. And, oh, yeah, he tries to go low a little bit, and just there wasn't space there. I don't know if that was... Oh, yeah, it was the 18. I think Julian...
Yeah, it looks like he makes contact with Julian kind of after the fact.
We'll go back and we'll watch that from Julian's point of view, because that was very close from where he was sitting as well. But, yeah, that brings out that yellow. So let's go back one more time. Well, let's watch this again from Julian's point of view here, how fast this happens. And so we'll hop on board. We'll do that speed as well here, because this is going to be pretty wild.
Yeah, that 72 just looked like he came down a little bit too much and kind of turned himself off of the nose of the 18. Really not much of Jeff's doing there, and I think just a little bit of contact maybe for Julian with the 72, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look at Julian's car. It looks okay. I don't see anything. Well, actually, let me look at that front wing. I think that left front wing end plate might be bent up just a little bit. We'll jump live here. We did have a few drivers hit pit road. And yeah, you see Eric Schaus, he's got some left front damage there. He's going to have to. Julian stayed out, and I think I'm trying to take a closer look at that front wing here. Let's see if we can get a good view of it. We can compare it to another car. Yeah, that left front wing's got a little bit of a crinkle to it, unfortunately, there, Boomer. I don't know if he's aware of it or not, but I think that's going to be one he's going to want to get repaired. Because if we compare it to, like, let's say Jeff Heisong just rolled out of the pits, we'll see a pretty big difference between the two wings there. So, yeah, it's a tough call for Julian to have to make. But what we're going to have here, though, Boomer, is single digits lap remaining restart here. And do need to mention, I believe this may have been the break Andrew Wood was looking for. I'm trying to wait and see for sure here, as he is in 18th. Or no, is he down 1-2?
He shows him getting service, but I think he still is one lap down to the field, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. We'll wait for everything. Once he gets off of pits, we'll see how it updates.
iRacing timing and scoring showing him as 56 seconds behind the leaders. I know we're under caution. The laps are a little bit slower.
So that would still be a lap, though.
Well, maybe he is, because the last lap for the leader under caution was 1:16. So
he is. Yeah, Andrew Wood back on the lead lap.
Trying to get as much as he can out of the pits here for repair as the pace car is exiting, it's already exit turn 4.
Yeah, it's going to get the 1 to go here. Yeah, so we're going to restart this thing with 8 to go.
So Andrew makes it back on the lead lap. That's great for him.
He is going to be going like a bat out of hell on this restart. So basically,
and Eric Schaus too.
Eric Schaus,
he's going to start right behind Eric, and I'm sure Eric is going to try to have a bit to prove now that he's taken his last fast repair. And who knows, this is probably going to be the last green flag action. We'll see whether it takes us to the end of the race or not, because coming up on 7 laps to go on this restart.
Yeah, exactly right. So I say Eric Schaus and Andrew Wood. So we'll keep note of this here, Boomer. 8 to go on this restart. They're going to be 17th and 18th respectively. Let's keep note of where that 72 and 64 are post race, because I have a feeling that's going to be. They'll probably. I'm going to say net gain probably get them towards the top 10 at worst, knowing the moves these guys can make here.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
see. I almost guarantee that this race is, I might call it. I think it's going to end under yellow here. But regardless, I think it's going to be an exciting finish. These guys are going to get very, very aggressive here towards the end. I mean, looking really more like a plate race and a stock car than an IndyCar race tonight.
Yeah, I think Craig Forsyth, he's going to have to live on that yellow line here, Boomer. He's going to have to do what he was doing there earlier. But you saw there's one little slip up where he gave just enough room for Nick DeGroot. Nick wasn't going to waste it. He tried to take it, just didn't quite out first. So Craig's, I think that, again, like I said, that's going to be a wake-up call for that number 27 here, Craig Forsyth. Got to make sure you do not leave more than a car width below you here. So as the field pace car's off, it's up to Craig. He's going to wait a little longer here, try to keep him bunched up a little bit more, I think, just to try to play it safe. As we're back to green immediately. Oh, we got a big check on the back. Oh, wrecking on the back. And that could be a quick yellow. And indeed it is. Caution is indeed out. And unfortunately, I think I see Jason Hand involved. Yes, some pretty significant left rear. And the bad luck continues for Jari Brupacher in that 49 machine. And trying to see who else is in there as well. Eric Peterson as well, catching a piece of that. I thought I saw... Was Andrew Wood involved in that? No, I think he's okay.
No, he looks okay.
We'll go back and we'll take a look. I think Eric Schaus may have had a moment, though, or maybe went off track to avoid it. So let's go back. We'll take another look at this restart here.
Looks like William Gunn. Eric Schaus looks like he avoided it, but it looks like William Gunn, maybe Jeff Heisong, with a little bit of contact, Jari Brupacher, and then...
And you can already see the accordion effect heading up around Robert DuPont, and that's just a late restart. That's exactly what's going to happen. Is everybody gets antsy, and then it looks like right behind Robert DuPont, I think it was William Gunn there, and then it looks like who's that? Jeff Heisong, I think in the 18, he gets a piece, and then you see Jari Brupacher, Eric Peterson. They're trying to go low to avoid it, but I'll say whenever you're in the grass, that never usually bodes well. So, and I think that's where Jari had it saved, and then unfortunately that's where he loops it around as well. But it looks like they all sneak. Oh, who's that that's sliding down to the infield there afterwards?
Yeah, it looked like Jason Hand absolutely locked him up there, and that was when the 14 of William Gunn got into the back of him and kind of went from there. So, looked like the 18 of Jeff Heisong was kind of an innocent bystander, just trying to go low to peel out, and I think those are the only three that actually... Oh no, Jari definitely making some contact after the fact. So so the 18, the 49, the 14 making contact there.
Yeah, so pretty much the ones that are on pit road are going to be the ones that were involved here, unfortunately. So Eric Peterson, Jari Brupacher, Jeff Heisong, and then I think Jason Hand as well in that 00. I believe Jim Herrick.
We did see... Sorry to interrupt. We did see Taylor Reeves disconnect. That might have been from earlier, though, was it?
I'm not sure. However, I think what's going to happen, though, here, Boomers, this will now be the final restart. I don't think, even with a quick yellow, I don't think they get another one attempt of it. So we're going to restart this thing with 4 to go. And I'm not certain, but I don't feel like it's going to have enough time. So, do you need to mention, though, sneaking through that incident there, we talked about Eric Schaus, Andrew Wood, now in 12th and 14th. Again, we talked about, was it 17th and 18th? So, I mean, Eric's already gained 5 spots just from that little melee on the restart. Andrew's gained about 4, as we still got plenty to go here. So, I mean, this next restart's going to be huge. And what does Craig do? Does he do the same thing and stay and wait and go long? Because, again, I mean, I think it's the right strategy to do. It keeps the field bunched up. But you always get nervous about those potential incidents as well, though.
I mean, if I were Craig, I would do the exact same thing again. Maybe people would be expecting it and not likely to lock the brakes up like they did there. Yeah, I don't know. I would maybe expect to see it again, just to see how antsy people get, and maybe try and throw a yellow. Maybe it's to his advantage, or maybe he leaves as early as possible just to change it up. But who knows? Maybe some reverse psychology. Everyone might be thinking that he is going to go short if he went late last time. So we'll have to see. Obviously, a little bit of mind games here as it goes for restarts, but we do see the pace car with the lights off, and Craig will look to get his to get his first. Excuse me. Words are hard sometimes. To get his second win of the season and be the first one to do so.
Yeah, exactly right. As I'm trying to go over, look at the results here, and you're right. Craig winning at Chicagoland a few weeks back, and also though on the points side, because he actually missed, I think, last week's race at Gateway.
Yeah,
so
I believe that's
he
correct.
also needs to try to get a little bit of points back because he's still doing a great spot. He's tied for third in points, 14 out of the lead. So this would be a great opportunity for him, especially with unfortunately the bad luck that Jeff Heisong has had here. He still has a chance for Jeff, of course. He is in 17th though. But we're going to see, though, because pace car is about to make that sharp turn to the left. And what does Craig do? I think you're right, though. I think he probably has to wait long again here because I think the longer he waits, the less opportunities that 6 have, as well as the 89. Now he's down and away, and you see straight to the bottom once again. And looking out back, I believe, looking pretty good throughout the field here. So it looks like a clean restart, 4 to go.
Yep, so definitely not as late that time, but definitely a little bit later as they got all the way to that, what's the Cup Series Geico restart zone. But Greg out and away, trying to break that draft as he cuts down the backstretch there. Looks like Nick DeGroot's going to have a little bit of a run to the outside of the 6 of Matt Wagner. Again, that'll be Craig Forsyth here looking for his second victory of the season. Matt looking for his first, and Nick DeGroot looking for his first as well. So we'll see, as it looks like the 6 is going to try and start the leapfrog process.
Oh,
as the 89
again
dumps to the inside, 3 wide for the battle, and he clears the 27, the 89 to the lead. Wow, what a move.
Yeah, Craig just gave too much room. I think he was too worried about Matt Wagner. Didn't notice Nick Diggers. Nick makes
Look
a
at
huge
all that
move.
aggressive.
We got one up
down
against
back.
the wall
Alex
out
Coates
of...
looks like he's going to try.
Yeah, so we got one
Making
against
the
the wall,
outside.
but I think we'll stay green.
We're still green. We're still green. Yep. Who was it? Oh, looks like Robert Dupont.
Yeah, Robert DuPont, and he has towed, so we stay green. We're coming to 2 to go.
Here we go.
I say Craig's between a rock and a hard place now because he's got Alec Coates there as well, so he doesn't have a lot of options here.
Glued to that yellow line on that inside there. It seems like it's paying off so far, but they're definitely going to have a run to his outside as they get down the backstretch. Alec Coates all over the back of the 6, going to try again to jump outside for 3 wide as we see another one. Oh, they're almost going 4 wide into the corner. Luis Gonzalez Nunez all the way on the outside there, trying to make it work here at the later stages of this race. This is an exciting battle for sure.
So we got, Craig.
Oh, we got the 27.
White flag is out though, so we will stay under green here, but that's a heartbreaker for Craig.
As long as he... Yeah, I think that'll stay green. Yep, Craig has towed. Oh, what a heartbreaker for him.
This is our final lap here, so right now looking like Nick DeGroot, Matt Wagner, but look at Alec Coates, Luis Gonzalez, Jim Brooks. They are fighting.
Trying to make it work on the outside, yep.
So I think Matt's got to steal a little bit of draft here out of 4 and then jump back to the outside. And can he do the drag race to the line here? It's going to be tight.
I think that 89 is going to have a chance to stay there on the bottom.
Close.
Let's see.
I think Nick DeGroot is showing on my timing and scoring here 0.00, but looks like Nick DeGroot's going to be our winner. Matt Wagner going to grab second, Alec Coates in third, and then Luis Gonzalez, Jim Brooks going to round out our top 5. But yeah, heartbreaker is going to definitely be Craig Forsyth there. I think we talked about it earlier where we were just worried about he gave too much room on the inside line. Nick DeGroot, he saw the opening happen once again, and he didn't hesitate, and he jumped after it there, and he's going to grab the win here tonight at Michigan. What a finish, though.
What a great opportunity for Matt Wagner. I'm looking at the iRacing timing and scoring, and it looks like he was 8 thousandths of a second short as... Looks like Nick DeGroot is going to be doing some burnouts here in the on the front stretch. Definitely a big celebration for him tonight to get his first win of the season, 4 races in after winning the championship and winning the final race at Indianapolis last season.
And yeah, sure enough, pulling up those final results, and you're right, 8 thousandths of a second between Nick DeGroot and Matt Wagner there. Alec Coates coming in the 3rd spot, about 9 hundredths behind, and then Luis Gonzalez, Jim Brooks only about 400s between the two of them. And then Kobe Moore, talked about Kobe, he went 14 spots to jump himself all the way up into 6th. And there's Andrew and Eric Schaus there right behind Dan Marrera. They're 8th and 9th. Eric Peterson rounding out our top 10. A great recovery for Eric as well here in that number 72, or sorry, for the number 36. And then Joseph Morales, Jeff Heisung, Julian Altina, Yari Brupacher, Ryan Steinhoff, and unfortunately Craig Forsyth there in 17th. Definitely gutted for him. And then we saw Robert DuPont have that late race incident himself that drops him down to 18th. And the remainder, Jason Hand, Taylor Reeves, Jim Herrick, Jack Walls, Jared Kaczynski, and Joseph DeCiro in 24th. All right, so I think before we go back and start to do those interviews, let's pull up that finish here, because that was, like I said, 0.008 of a second. So we'll slow things down here, and I'll try to see if I can time it right at the line for these guys between that 6 and the 89. And Matt did exactly what I thought he should do. Keep that, steal a little bit of draft, jump up there, and try to make it happen. And just needed that little bit more there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 6 of Matt Weiner did everything he possibly could. Just needed a little bit more of a toe to get there, but obviously Nick DeGroot playing it smart and being the one who managed to keep the inside line and not waver from it to get that victory tonight. So I think that was definitely going to be the winning move of the race there for the 89.
Yeah, it looks like it was pretty much a nose cone difference, I think, is what you could pretty much associate it to between them. So with that, though, let's start talking to some drivers here, and we're going to kick it off with our 3rd place finisher, which will be, coincidentally, the number 3 of Alec Coates. So let's pull Alec on in over here. Started in 11th, brings it home in 3rd. And I mean, so a lot of strategies throughout the night, obviously fuel savings and maybe just trying to run it long on those first couple stints. And then the timing of the cautions, it seemed like at that point, it's like, all right, well, there's no real point in trying to work the fuel mileage. Let's just basically go full send. It was obviously kind of just who could get to pretty much 1st and 2nd there, as the leaders were able to kind of keep that leapfrog pace up. I mean, how tough was it to try to work? I think I saw you running kind of the middle bottom more. I mean, how tough was it to try to keep that thing, kind of keep the momentum built up while running the lower line?
It was tough. I mean, early it was the place to do it, because it's how you could pick up spots and you could kind of do a little dirt track slide job type thing, and you can get it to stick. But as the run went on, the tires kind of fell away, so that kind of stopped working. So I would just try to shoot my moves early in the run, and then as the run went on, just wherever I was at, I'd fill in line and kind of just run the top and let others make the mistake trying to go to the bottom and just get spots that way.
Yeah, definitely seemed like you were able to make the high line work and gain a few spots there in a different couple different ways, but definitely a bit of a good run, picking up 8 spots here. What was it like going through the field throughout this race?
It was a blast. I love Michigan. Multi-groove racing is always fun. I race about one official every month, maybe at most, and I got on here last week and I won one here. So I saw this on the schedule. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to run the full season with these guys, but I wish I could. But I saw this one on the schedule and I was like, let's run it. So yeah, it was nice to run the high line there, and honestly, I wanted to run it in 3 and 4 there, but someone kind of stuck their nose to my outside, and I couldn't go all the way up. I wanted to try to get a bigger run off to at least make it a through-wide finish, but it is what it is. It's awesome to be back on the podium and cool to be talking to you guys again.
Yeah, it was a blast watching us, and yeah, those last couple laps were obviously just so tooth and nail. I mean, you were like, I think at one point you were kind of at the very back of it, just kind of getting a great view of it. I think around like 7th or so. And then you're like, okay, yep, we're going for it there before that late yellow. And then, of course, I mean, you see the openings, and I mean, how do you determine, okay, this is a move I want to make, I don't want to make, and I just want to stay in the draft? I mean, how do you kind of determine where you feel like are the places to try to make those passes, either low or high, at certain points in those final laps when everybody's going for everything they got?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as a competitor, you want to win, but you also got to realize that you could make the wrong move and drop back 5 or 6 spots and take yourself off of a podium. So at the end of the day, those last couple laps is kind of a free-for-all. I didn't want to ruin anybody's championship because I'm not running for it, but I'm still here to try to win too. So I was just gonna make as many moves as I could. Unfortunately, I kind of just timed that run late. I would have liked to, like I said, at least got side by side with those other twos to make at least a good photo opportunity. But nonetheless, it was really clean and a lot of fun. So it's always a good time with this league, and it's awesome to see it up at about 24 cars this week.
Yeah, definitely a great car count tonight, and as it definitely didn't disappoint with the racing as well. So, say great job, Alec. Yeah, definitely wish you could be here more. Say obviously shows you'd be one to challenge for these guys week in and week out. So, but say enjoy this one though. Say look forward to seeing you again soon. But before we let you go, definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks or shots you'd like to give for that third tonight.
Yeah, TJ McMurray and Thadamax Designs always making my cars look pretty sweet. And then obviously everybody over here at Area 51 and Wagner and them, they help out big time with my ESRA league over on Thursday nights. They run over there with us. Wagner wanted those races longer this year, so he threw up a sponsor with Area 51. So I always appreciate it. It's a big community here in IndyCar. We're always trying to help each other's leagues out. So I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to watching it back.
All right, man. Great job tonight, Alec. Looking forward to having more chats with you. And yeah, great job over with getting that Thursday league going. So yes, I mean we got a couple IndyCar series. I'll say, well, hopefully Dark Horse gets rolling again soon on Wednesdays as well. But yeah, if you're looking for any open wheel racing on Thursday nights, go check out ESRA. So you know Alec runs a good show over there as well. So definitely appreciate it, man. And say good luck over there as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. Great to talk to you guys.
All right, saying he kind of got names dropped there in that interview here, so we got to pull up our runner up tonight, and that is going to be the number 6 of Matt Wagner. And so you mentioned Boomer that he felt like he had a pretty good track record with that paint scheme coming into tonight, and did not disappoint tonight either. Right in the thick of it at the end of it. I mean, and you had to go from I think it was about 6th on one of the restarts to get up even into that top 2, top 3 battle. And I mean, it was. And I think honestly, we were watching that battle with Craig and Nick, and then you. I think you may have kind of stolen Craig's attention away from Nick being too focused on you, where Nick was able to kind of snooker him and sneak to that inside there late. I mean, take us through the moves, the battles, because I mean, it definitely was hard work there at the end.
So my whole plan was try and pin Craig down on the bottom seam there. And I noticed, and I moved, and I came up off the track, and I moved up to the second lane up there, and then he moved up, and I'm looking right behind me, like you said. I saw Nick dive to the inside, which was a brilliant move. Oh, hats off to him. That was a pretty nice move there. And then I was able to get around Forsyth there, and now I got the Groot to my left, trying to pin him down there. So I've just about 2 to go. About almost coming to the white. I maybe just a little bit of a connection there. I had to move up the track because it looked like he was going to make contact with me. So I had no choice but to move up the track, and I think that ultimately cost me the win there. But you never know. It was pretty close to the line. I never did see the exact amount there was. I thought I had it. I mean, we were that close.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Because, I'm on a 20 race dryless spell here, Area 51, and I kind of wanted to break that today. Second place sucks. I know it's it's a little bit dicey for me, but I'll take second.
Yeah, man, definitely a great run, and I mean, did everything that you needed to do there on that last couple of laps. Obviously, Nick making a big move to make it there, but you were there the whole race. I mean, we watched you battle with Nick there to stay in the top 2 positions, leapfrogging at the front of the field, and after the first pit cycle, it looked like Craig might have jumped in there and taken over that second place. You fell back a little bit, but man, I like take us through that final restart, because you were up on the wheel, and you made a lot of passes to get yourself up into that position to make it work on that last lap.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of adjusting that I noticed that everybody was running the top. Nobody was running the bottom whatsoever. There was a few cars that would somehow come down to the bottom of the racetrack on the back stretch, and I would catch that draft, and it would help me propel me up further forward, which kind of helped out greatly. I think it was Craig, actually. Um, man, what a race, guys. I mean, that was fun. I mean, let's do it again next week.
Yeah, it was beyond exciting. And so as we were talking during the broadcast, it's like every time the schedule comes up, I'm always looking. It's like, okay, got to make sure that Michigan's here, Auto Club, Pocono, Indy. If those four are on the schedule, I'm happy. And yeah, like I said, this track never disappoints, and especially with the group you guys have, it was a great car count tonight with the 24 drivers. Saw a few new faces, a few returning faces, which was great to see as well. And yeah, just everybody was going after it there tonight. But yeah, I mean, just a great job tonight, Matt, getting that runner up there. And yeah, like I said, if you were in Nick's position, you've been able to do that little move to sneak around Craig there at the end too. So it's just luck of the draw sometimes. Unfortunately, didn't go your way tonight, but say
what it is.
Runner up, not bad after having to sit out a week over at Gateway and help me out, bail me out, and hang out with Boober. So definitely really appreciate you doing that. But I mean, again, great job tonight as well, man. So definitely want to give you the floor. Any thanks, shouts you'd like to give for that runner up?
All right. I'd like to shout out to my parents. They were actually watching my broadcast here tonight, and they weren't chatting in the YouTube chat. So, I hope they enjoyed it. So, everybody in Area 51, we had a great car count tonight. Everybody, all of you that raced tonight with me, thank you very much. I love you guys. Like I said, we're all family here at Area 51. Come on out. Enjoy the race. Everybody gets along with each other here. It's great. I love it. Special thanks to your dad too, putting this all together. 4D sim race. I can't thank those guys enough. So, Butt Kicker, you know them. Hyper X, love you guys, and especially to you guys. You guys broadcasting, love it. Keep it up.
So you make it easy for us, I feel like, Matt. So yeah, good job tonight. Say go enjoy this one, and look forward to seeing you up front again here soon, sir.
God, I hope so.
All right, that is our runner-up in that number 6 of Matt Wagner, which leads us now over to our second place finisher. And I think right now, you can see Nick again protecting that inside line as we go to his view, as we get to chat with him tonight. And we saw it happen twice. First time didn't quite pan out. Second time, the charm. Craig just left the door just a little bit too open, and saying you're never going to say no to an invitation like that there. And I mean, that was basically the move that obviously put you in the catbird seat there at the end. I mean, how blown away were you that opening happened twice there?
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't surprised that he left it open because it is so treacherous down there, and I had to go to negative weight jacker just to be able to hang on down there. And you saw the first time I almost wrecked. So I think he left it open thinking he's not going to send it down there. It's too questionable. We're running for a championship here. But I learned from that first time. I lowered the weight jacker and I was ready. And I gotta say, on that restart, some words from my teammate there, Covey Moore, were ringing in my head because I got a really good run on Wagner, and I wanted to take second from him right there. But this past week, I won an Indy 500, a top split Indy 500 from third. He won a Freedom 100 from third. And we were talking about it, and he's like, I'd rather be third in that position where the draft is so important. And I thought to myself, why am I taking the spot? Let's let Matt catch him. Let's let them get side by side, and then we'll get the big run, and then we'll see what we can do with it. And it worked out. So hats off to him. He was right once again, and pretty cool for him to drop in and get sixth there. And I think he was also the biggest move of the race. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that worked. I definitely was not going to make that corner if he was next to me. So I'm glad I was able to clear Craig because I slid like 3 lanes up there. But yeah, another one in Michigan. Love this place. Great racing.
Yeah, man, we saw you almost try to practice that earlier and probably lifted a little bit. Didn't wash up too much, but probably just because you had to lift out of it. So it definitely seemed like you were able to almost practice that move and perfect it there. I mean, absolutely. I mean, takes some guts to do it, but takes some skill to pull it off, and you did it. So I mean, yeah, incredible restart for you there.
Yeah, as much as I wanted to just play it safe, think about points, I wanted to get rid of that zero in the win column. I've been telling you guys that, and I saw the opportunity, and this is a track that I've really had a lot of success at. I really enjoy, and I wasn't going to say no, even though there was a lot of risk there. And funnily enough, we saw a couple laps later that same position. Craig himself, who's one of the best guys out there, he lost it down there. So it is very treacherous. It's quite the risk to try it, but worked out, and it was really a calm race for me too. Just I was running up front, swapping for the lead for most of the thing. I don't think I ever saw anywhere outside the top 5 other than green flag pit stops. So yeah, you don't after some races that were having everything go wrong for us and me making some of my own mistakes. It was nice to have one where we put it all together, green flag to checkered flag.
Yeah, no, I mean, you like I said, I mean, you were on it from start to finish there, and even in the green flags pit stops is actually a good thing to mention as well, because you came in a little bit earlier than some of the other guys, but you're able to get out with the draft, and then even work your way through the draft to kind of get yourself back on the tail end of the lead lap, just in case you never know those untimely yellows. And it was impressive to see, and I think that also made a big difference on where you were at that point in the race, because then with those moves you made, you're able to kind of cycle yourself back to the front after all that. I mean, how important was that for you to try to work through those guys that were going that little bit extra to you? A, for of course the potential yellow, and then B, to try to make sure you cycled out up front.
Yeah, as much as you're putting a lot of risk on yourself by pitting early here, it's definitely worth it because you can get that draft, you can gain a second or two. And I was holding my breath until I cleared those guys and got in front of them on the tail end. But once I did, I was like, all right, we're in a great position. We're gonna come out of this thing with the lead, I'm sure. And I was hoping maybe we'd be a little too far up the road for the draft, but I guess that was asking a little too much. Craig did a good job. He's staying right with us there, but it did break up the pack a little bit, which was nice for a little while.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, it was definitely an impressive show, but for all you guys, and like I said, for your road course ace to roll in here and finish in 6th, a great job by Covey as well. So I mean, a pretty good team effort all around here tonight. So yeah, definitely don't want to take up too much of your time. Want to let you celebrate with Covey. I'd say definitely want to give the floor though for any thanks and shouts that I could give for that win tonight.
Yeah, thank you to Factory Back Motorsports as always. We got motorsport.com, CoveyMoore.com, Degree Automotive, U-Haul and Detailing, Wegmans, Cowboy Shit, Ty Posbon Foundation, and also want to thank one of our newer sponsors, Canvas Shoes. You can go check out their Instagram. They make some really incredible custom shoes, and yeah, it's really cool. So thanks again, guys. Awesome to get a win. See you next week.
All right, that is our race winner, Nick DeGroot, as we continue to watch him celebrate here on the replay. But yeah, Boomer, I say Michigan did not disappoint tonight. Didn't expect it would, but man, that was a wild one this evening.
Yeah, that was exciting from start to finish. I mean, we saw a lot of really good side-by-side tight battles, almost pack-style racing in the Indy cars here tonight, and for the most part, staying pretty clean for some of the moves that were made. And obviously, I mean, hands down, the most impressive move of the night made by that 89 there, as he made it stick, cleared into turn 1. Maybe a little bit of a slide job if you were to ever see one in an Indy car, but pulled it off, and absolutely perfection from that 89 to get his first win of the season.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like how he's been kind of dying to get that first win. It's like, man, we're on like what, race number 4 or something like that. So it just shows, I mean, how important it is for these guys, though. And again, I mean, season-long point standings. Of course, there's the one drop week, but I mean, you want to get everything you can right off the bat. So yeah, it's gonna feel a little better to get that kind of that monkey, if you will, off his shoulders. But I mean, you heard Matt Wagner say too, is like he wants to get his losing streak done too. And then but again, you got to watch out for those part timers too. Alec Coates, I mean, he's gonna roll in, get a top 3 right off the bat. Luis Gonzalez Nunez comes back after a hiatus. He finishes in the top 5 as well. Covey Moore 6th. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of drivers that week in, week out that we might not see, and they could play a role in these things as well. So yeah, just really definitely impressive by them.
Yeah, definitely a great run for those guys tonight. I know, we were going to eventually see Nick get that monkey off his back, get that that first win of the season. Seen a lot of kind of reoccurring themes here for some drivers, and for the yellow flag, it seems like the yellows kind of come almost at the time of actually, I believe Nick DeGroot was planning on pitting when the last yellow came out, but seeing a lot of those timely, I guess, yellows, if you will, for pit cycles, and more bad luck for some drivers, including Jori Brupacher, who we hope to see him turn his season around at some point after Nick was able to do that tonight.
Yeah, Yari definitely needs to find something to turn that luck around, because, I mean, we know he's got the pace. It's just, nothing's gone right for him, it feels like, so far this season. So, yeah, hopefully Yari can find whatever needs to happen to make that difference and get back into it. But, yeah, just what a race, though. That was a lot of fun. As always, though, Boomer, really appreciate you doing this with me, man. And I say we've got plenty more to go, though, over the course of the season. So, thank you for helping me out once again tonight. It's always fun to do it with you. And then, of course, thank you to the viewers that watch and support us here on Green White Checkered TV. And, of course, we'll be back on Thursday night for the Super Speedway Truck Series. And if might be trying to dust off my gloves and helmet and such, maybe I'll try to hop behind the wheel of one of those trucks and see how bad I am compared to those guys, and let Boomer and Maxwell Caldwell run the show over there. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably be embarrassing for me, which makes it all the more fun for you guys all to see.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see. I don't think you did too bad, but we'll have to see. And looking forward to having you run that race if you do choose to run. But looking forward to running the broadcast again on Thursday night, and love it. I love the idea, and hopefully maybe we can throw me in a car at some point and have me run one too. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely get our we'll get our uniforms all dusted off and get some fun between the two of us and cause some trouble before they start getting into the middle of playoff times. But again, thank you all so much for supporting us. That'll do it for us this evening. So hope you have a wonderful evening this Tuesday night, and we'll be back, like I said, on Thursday night for the Super Speedway Truck Series. So stay tuned. Thank you all for being here. Take care. Have a good night. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Thursday.